Welcome to day 11, and we will be discussing why clean water makes faster growing birds. This is the misconception that farmers have. Or let me rather clarify it like this. This is how we need to look at this. Feed builds the bird, but the water activates the feed. By day 11, the broilers are drinking almost twice as much water as they consume feed. So if water quality drops, growth drops, even if the feed is perfect. Number one reason why clean water makes faster growing birds is that as farmers, this is what we generally assume, that the birds are fine, they're drinking. Yeah, they are drinking, but what's really happening is that the biofilm builds inside pipes. Algae and bacteria grow, the water starts to smell or even taste different. Now, we don't get this because we don't consume the water, but inside, you'll actually realize when you maybe clean out your drinkers, you'll feel a slimy texture in the container, and that is the biofilm that builds. And if we don't clean that, this will ultimately affect the birds. Number two, less water equals to less feed intake. Here's a simple rule for broilers. Broilers eat in proportion to how much they drink. So when the water intake drops, feed intake drops. And what does that result in? Growth slows down immediately. Even a small reduction matters at this stage. Number three, dirty lines stress the gut. This is what I mean. Dirty water irritates the digestive system of the birds. This disrupts the nutrition value absorption in the feed, which will or may result in the bird not eating normally, or eating normally but not converting the feed correctly. This is why weight gain slows without visible sickness. Number four, medicine does not fix dirty water. I'm sorry. Medicine does not fix dirty water. So many farmers add medicine, add supplements, but they ignore the water cleanliness. Dirty water cannot cancel out treatments. Problem returns quickly if you spend some time in your coop. You'll realize that there's still a recurring problem, even when you do give your birds medication and supplements of that nature. So clean water is the foundation and not the extra. Now, for small scale farmers, you are most at risk. Why? Because you don't clean your pipes as often, or your feeders or your drinkers as often. Your buckets may be stained dirty, as you may be using one type of drinker. Warm weather spreads the contamination, so take heed and be careful. And this problem builds up quietly. Now, how does this affect your pocket? Dirty water causes slower growth, which results in worse feed conversion, which results in a higher disease risk, and also extra medication costs, which are things you don't want. You want to be spending extra on things that you could have avoided. So your profits will dwindle because you'll obviously have deaths. So what should you do in this case? On day 11, flush out water regularly. Ensure that your drinkers are clean. Empty and scrub out your water tanks or your drinkers, and keep water cool and fresh regularly. Clean water equals to fast growth. In one sentence, to wrap this up, if you wouldn't drink it, your broilers shouldn't either. Simple. If you won't consume it, why should your birds? Now, I created a day 1 to 42 checklist that reminds you on how and what to do on each and every day from day 1 to day 42. And if you want a more in-depth insight on raising broilers to making profits, I've created a Broiler Gems, which is a 30-day booklet that you can go through that will help you from day 1 up until the point of sale, and how you can make more money from raising broilers. Free link in the description for your download, and if you want the booklet, also the link is in the description. Thank you. So I'm going to walk you through the day's activities for day 11, and we're still giving our chicks, I still call them chicks at this stage because they're still all fluffy and small. We're going to give them their starter. The starter is in powder form, or as they call it, powder, and this just helps the birds consume it more easily. And you'll see that sometimes when you move from starter to grower, the grower will be in pellet form, and there's also pellet starter in powder form, which just helps the birds adapt. So I'm taking out the drinkers because they are empty. The second one isn't empty, but it needs to be washed out. Remember, we need clean water at all times. Clean water is also quick growth of the birds. Now this is quite challenging to do as you film with one hand and clean and wash your drinkers with the other. So I have to put my camera down here. So in this tub or bucket I have fresh water that I got, and I just put the water in here because in this coop it's actually cooler, so the water is cool and fresh at all times, which just makes the trip easier, because sometimes you get water from the tap and the water still has bits of chlorine in it, unsettled chemicals. So you just want to ensure that the birds get the best water possible. I've heard some farmers say they use mineral water, and I'm like, oh, good for you. Whatever you can do, whatever you can afford, but don't be too luxurious while you are mismanaging that which is actually the basics of poultry farming. Just getting rid of the small bulk of water left here to fill up my drinkers to the brim. And on day 11 we're still giving our birdies clean water, and that dark spot there is where I put my PPE. Biosecurity is key, so I just leave it in here. And also have my boots. I always leave my boots inside the coop, just so to avoid me bringing any illnesses, diseases, bacteria from outside into the coop. Giving the birds fresh water and just taking a tour around our coop, just trying to get it stable so it doesn't tip over. These birds are wild. You'll find amazing things that these birds do. They'll fly into things, into each other, and it's just a wild show when you're not there, when you're not watching. So here's the tour, just to check out on everyone, if we're moving, if we have any casualties, if we have any mortalities, take a tour, spend some time in your coop, get to learn your birds, get to see what triggers them. And that's a wrap for day number 11. Thank you for tuning in. Tomorrow is day number 12. Hope you're enjoying this 42-day challenge and seeing the progress and growth of raising broiler chicks to broiler adults. See you in the next video.